Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. Good evening. So, it is Black Friday, and it is also Friday. I don't know what to do here with Bitcoin because strange stuff is going on. Gonna probably have to check a lot of other charts just to confirm what is even going to happen right now. Today, we did have some decent volatility in the morning. Bitcoin made a new high today of 93,036. Why we slowed down there, not too sure, but the fact that we were about to be overbought a little bit in smaller time frames, for sure we did hit those peaks, but over here we didn't really close above the 92,334 because, well, we were really close, and that's where the issue lies right now on Bitcoin, on what I'm seeing for the price action. If I go to the USDC chart, this is USDT, by the way, the one I was showing you. It didn't flip the super trend over. USDC chart did, and that is where I'm like, okay, so what are we doing here? This is fake. It's not a real position. I'm deleting that. It would have been good, but we did indeed flip the super trend over to the green, just barely, for the USDC chart. Now, that's where the issue lies. I don't know which one to really pay attention to. I'm going to say we're going to pay attention to the downtrend, because the downtrend line itself that I have been drawing, it's been coming down since 28th of October, 10th of November. We haven't really approached or broken it yet. We do have to reach basically this resistance at 95,000 before we can be like, yeah, now the downtrend is indeed broken, and then we can flip our super trend to the green. It looks like this is already doing that a little bit too early. And given these numbers that we have, super trend is looking at 86,500 approximately for the green side if we are expecting Bitcoin to continue rising. Meaning that, do not be surprised if a pullback does occur for Bitcoin. I would be looking at 86,500 or 87, maybe even 88. I don't know. These levels, there's too many levels at this point. But I'm going to go and say that we have not broken the downtrend. We are still in it, because I'm going to start paying attention more to the USDT chart to make my decisions. That position that I had shown there, oh my god, there's like not too much to talk about, but I'll go through it either way. That position that I had drawn, the way it's going to work, how I'm thinking my strategy should work, although I don't even know honestly if it will. 4-hour chart will determine the overall trend, right? Downtrend. Great. 15-minute chart. You look at this. Do you even call this volatility? Like, what even is this flat line? It's nothing. But anyway, we did become overbought, and since we're in a downtrend, as soon as we exit that overbought territory, so the next candle that closes below here, which would be here, that is where I would ideally be entering in a short position. Stop above this level, of course. I don't know specifically how much yet. I have to determine that. And take profit, risk reward ratio, 1 to 3. Something like this is what I would like to do. Has it worked in the past? Probably, probably not. Some occasions it hasn't worked, because we have been overbought, and we have been kind of recovering since our lowest point. But believe me, when the trend was strong toward the downside, you would have been making some really good profits with this one. Right? So, oh, I should go back to short. We were still in downtrend as of November 19. If you don't believe me, look at the 4-hour chart. Right? We're still below the super trend, so this is still a downtrend, technically. If I go back to 15 minutes, kind of trying to determine how this could work, right? We did reach overbought over here. Next candle would be oversold here, which is this candle. I'd put a stop loss, I don't know, That's the issue as well, is I don't know how distant to put the stop loss, because we did eventually, you know, hit another high level, so this would have hit a stop loss, probably, something like that, but then I would have re-entered, where is it, after this. Oh, we're not even looking at the same one, are we? What was this level, 70? 67? Would have been around here. This one would have been take profit easily. Even a larger risk-reward ratio, crazy larger, but no. I would probably stick to 1 to 3 risk-reward ratios. Scenario like this one would have worked, or it's either I just let it run until it becomes oversold and then I sell. How about that? And I'd invalidate everything, put a stop loss at once the super trend gets invalidated, right? Once we close above whatever line we had over here. That's another idea as well, but it's still in the works. Like I said, still got to do back testing for it, so gonna have to dedicate my own time for that. In the meantime, I still have been looking for work, applying for jobs, getting some responses, doing some assessments. Bit boring, but yeah, that's where my life is at right now. Okay. So I still think we're on a downtrend. Current price of Bitcoin, I waited 6 minutes to tell you this, but it's at 90,871. What do we got to talk about today? Ukrainian corruption, we'll be discussing that. Trump really pissed off is what I'm seeing. He's going pretty crazy. Insulting everyone, cracking down on immigration, finally. It's about time. And he's going pretty hard on it, so we'll be discussing all that. Fundamentals, of course, for Bitcoin, still strong. Institutions probably buying. CME had an issue. We're going to talk about that too. So, should be a good one. Get ready. That's all I got for Bitcoin. No movement. No real big movement today, except for that little poke upwards to 93,000, but nothing more. Didn't really close above it, so I'm going to ignore it for now. We're still like below the super trend line. That is why I'm more inclined to believe, yeah, we're probably, you know, slowing down a bit over here. Not going to flip the trend over. Unless, I don't know, maybe the strength does pick up once again. We would be overbought by the time we hit 95,000. And by that point, like I said, we do have a downtrend line that is drawn. I'm going to zoom back out over here. Downtrend line we should worry about the most is this one, which would take us to about 95,000. Wait, is this all-time high? No, it is not. No, yeah, it is. Oh, that is all-time high. We have two downtrends, that's why. It's that one, which is a bit longer, and then this one, which is a bit more immediate. From, I said 28th of October till November 10? Yes. And that's where it's pointing towards for the end of this week. If we manage to close above it, then I'll be willing to believe indeed that we will have our trend flipped over to the green. I'd rather play it safe because we are technically in a bear market looking at the weekly chart. So those are the important things to pay attention to. Seems like the super trend has stabilized for it at 120,000 for Bitcoin. Like that's ever going to happen. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Still in a perpetual downtrend for Bitcoin. Okay? 80,000 is your true support. We've seen enough volume at these levels to confirm that. And I don't know. I don't know whether or not to pay attention to the super trend level that I saw from the USDC chart. I'm more inclined to believe the pivot level right now, which is 88,000. 88,000, we'll say. Okay, so there you go. Ethereum, 3,037. Not a lot of movement today either, but we were already super close to the super trend flipping over, that it finally happened. So we are now in an uptrend for Ethereum, which invalidates at 2,812. I did some longer term analysis, so if this was indeed the bottom, November 21st, when we hit 2,621, can you believe we did that for Ethereum? That's crazy. But if that is still the case, then the uptrend, very, very long term, still looks good. And this uptrend, very easily breakable, but it's still there, kind of. Don't be surprised if Ethereum does go below 3,000 again. It can happen. And if it does, we'll still be fine as long as we remain above 2,800, okay? Your resistance for Ethereum, 3,141.14. That's where we could see some overbought levels, potentially. And same deal with what we saw with Bitcoin. We still have this very long downtrend coming from our all-time high, basically. I think this one is... Nope, we do have another one. This is not even from our all-time high. That's crazy. From October 7 to 27th of October. These charts are different. Our actual, like, drop down from this all-time high. Well, it's a much shallower downtrend. I don't know how to say it, but this one's more steeper than that one, right? Meaning that this one's more easily to break. From these two, it's looking like the uptrend is obviously going to prevail. Just by zooming out a little and looking at the angles of each. So things are looking fine for Ethereum. I'm just going to readjust this back over here for the meantime. Okay, I like it. 3,035, up 1%. Solana down 1%, $137.40. Didn't flip the super trend yet. Ethereum's the first one to do it. And arguably Bitcoin too, but I don't know if I trust it. Do we have any difference with USDC chart on Ethereum, by the way? Just want to confirm. No, it's the same. So super trends also flipped green. Okay, back to Solana here. Yeah, no big change. 132 is your support, resistance 145 we got a breakout of for the trend to flip into the green. And I think the breakout will be much larger for Solana because we do have plenty of strength in the fact that we're almost less than neutral on the RSI. Means that we can easily break whatever resistance we see here, right? The next time we approach it, and could take us much higher, maybe even to 155, right? Break out of that magnitude. So looks good for Solana. We are entering, though, a low volatility weekend, long weekend for Americans. You had Thanksgiving yesterday. Today's Black Friday. Everybody wants to go out and buy a new microwave or a fridge. So they don't have money for Bitcoin. Maybe. Funding rates have become normalized again, back to positive. SUI, I finally like this order, by the way. We did it. We flipped this super trend over. About time. This gives me more confidence to start looking for long positions on SUI. You know what? Fine. Even on Bitcoin, then, I'm going to start to agree. We could see things flip over for Bitcoin to the green as well. We kind of already saw it with the USDC chart, like I said, but I'm conflicted on it. SUI, 15-minute chart, something like if this becomes oversold, let's say SUI does a little dip like this, we're going to have a oversold level kind of like this, right? Good opportunity for entry for long because the 4-hour chart is now in the green, so you could look for long positions. You would enter as soon as we confirm that you are no longer oversold, right? Wherever that is for the price of SUI, you put a stop loss below there, and I don't know, put a target. Be ambitious with it. Eventually, when SUI does, does its fluctuation in price, whatever it does, and it makes a big move like this and eventually becomes overbought, you could, either you get your take profit hit first, or, you get to manually decide when you sell. Because you see prices are overbought, you're like, this is futures market, it's time to sell, get out of here. And it would be fine. If we're looking at the 4-hour chart, I hope this doesn't look like a mess. Kind of does. But you could expect a movement like this on SUI. That's absolutely possible. We have an uptrend. So, could happen. It could look something like this, right? We're expected to make higher lows, higher highs because the trend is flipped over to the green. Any oversold opportunity you see in the 15-minute chart would be your entry, potentially. That's what I'm planning to do with my little strategy. So, if I do catch that happening, I will take advantage of it. It's good. I like that. Hyperliquid up 3%. It still looks like it's just been ranging this whole time. I bet the 3% is from this like low point. So it's not even that big of a move. Haven't flipped our trend over yet, but we're pretty close to doing so. 37.21 is where the downtrend invalidates, which coincides perfectly with the downtrend line itself. I like that. Breakout from that, we would have enough strength to easily reach 39. I'd say even 40. I'll be more ambitious with it. 40 is more of a psychological level, and we deserve to see Hyperliquid at that level or higher, so can't wait for that. By the way, this dip over here made absolutely no sense. Would have been a great opportunity for DCA. I don't have Hyperliquid, so I'm out of it for now. At this period, though, it's a bit strange. I don't know if I truly want to enter anything yet, because we're still seeing early signs of some trends being flipped versus, you know, Bitcoin, the main one, kind of indecisive on whether or not it is flipping over to the green side to become an uptrend. So I don't know. Still got to wait for those. Till the majority of the market has a clear trend or a clear direction, that's when I would feel more comfortable with entering. Chainlink, same deal with what Hyperliquid we're seeing there. It's at $13.09 and it's still in a downtrend. It invalidates at $13.76. Breaking out of that could take us easily above 14, but I don't know. This downtrend looks not good for Chainlink. Seems like a very long one. Something like, oh, it's even longer here. That one's going to be, it's going to take a while to break. And then, even from here. Are we approaching anything crazy? We kind of are. Okay. I'd use this level. Okay. Simply would just have to readjust because we haven't fully broken 1376 yet. That's the level where we can, you know, ignore this downtrend, delete it, and start focusing on an uptrend, if that is to be the case for Chainlink, whenever that does happen. So, gonna have to wait as well. Not fully convinced with this market. BitTensor, I do have open position. 297. Don't like that we broke below 300 again, but here we are. Still in a downtrend. Just gonna adjust it, and it invalidates at 322. Okay, and then support from there could take us down to 260 once again, which was our lowest point. Don't think we're going to see that. Could happen. We are still in a downtrend, but I'm hoping the market does indeed reverse. Like I said, fundamentals super strong. We're almost at December, by the way. BitTensor would have its halving event in December, so look forward to it. Lastly, Aptos at $2.12. Still making lower lows. Aptos I'd feel more comfortable with shorting if I could find any good entries for short. Yeah. So when it comes to Aptos, I don't know, if you see like a 15-minute chart, if the 4-hour chart was in the red, right? I know I'm showing this to you guys retroactively, so it'd be like, oh, look how much money you could have made. But no, realistically, like, I would have probably put my take profit maybe at 1 to 5, something crazy. I have no idea. But the fact that it would be oversold, like, that's, I just manually start taking profits easily from there if I was short on that. Just retroactively speaking. That's a plan that I have. I don't know. Chad Jeets, welcome. Metis, you want to look at Metis? I have heard of the project. I remember it was booming right over here. Saw that. Yeah. We are in a downtrend now, though, at the pivot level. Not too much volatility in recent days. 766 is where we're at. Isn't Metis... Hold on. I might have written it somewhere. Okay, let's see. Okay. Metis, yeah. Partnered with Athena, and its USDE stablecoin was launched on Metis. They claim they have become the first L2 to launch a decentralized sequencer that publishes transactions. Hyperion is used to help Metis. I was in the middle of studying it, but then I just gave up halfway through it. Isn't this one, unless I'm mixing it up with something else, the one where the founder is Vitalik Buterin's mother? Natalia was her name? Hold on. Put this book back. Okay. I'm pretty sure it was Vitalik's mother. I do want to confirm. Oh, what am I doing? Hit this one. Overall, though, yeah, we are at, like, really oversold levels with it. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, it's just been on its way down. That's crazy. I was reading that it did have 100x potential, though, but I don't know how long ago that would have been. Probably not much right now. We'll see. We do need like a huge bounce back for altcoins to see any kind of decent movement for this. Yeah, this is like all-time lows practically. I do want to find... Where are we? Founders. No, never mind. I'm probably thinking of something else. What was it then? What project did Vitalik Buterin's mother co-found or found? Why is my caps lock on? Yeah, it is Metis. What am I... Okay. Yeah, Natalia Ameline. Okay, great. I'm not crazy. Thank you. Did I spell Buterin wrong? Metis DAO. Yeah, it's literally this. Or an older version of it. It doesn't say DAO here. Metis I2. I'm assuming they might have done some sort of an upgrade. Okay, so it is the founder. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for confirming. Yep, okay. I did hear decent stuff about it, but I don't know. It's really unpopular right now. Everything is unpopular. But the fact that we're just making lower lows, I don't know. Probably me personally wouldn't hold this for too long. But yeah, man. For trading, on the downside, sure. What do we got? Short from here. Oh, if you... opportunities already taken, right? You could have shorted from around here, put a stop loss above this high, taken a profit where it was oversold. Maybe here. Or if you're patient enough, maybe over here. Depending on where you had your take profit for it, either way. I don't know. Me thinking about my strategy, what I would have done. But yeah. And funding rates are still positive. That's crazy. So there are people that still trust in the project and are holding it long when it comes to futures. I don't know. Maybe they're saying that bottom is indeed in. I don't like this $4 drop that we had on October 10th, though. Everything dropped something crazy, but doesn't mean that we're going to completely fill this up. Especially like the lower cap altcoins suffered even harder. Sue was the worst. And so was Cosmos, Atom. That wasn't good. Quant. You want to look at Quant. Let's have a look. Oh, I didn't realize we were up 12% today. Interesting. Why are we like this? Let me ask this stupid AI. It's not going to tell me the right answer, but I'll give it a shot anyway. Probably check better out here on this CoinMarketCap AI. I have heard of Quant, by the way, but yeah. Okay. It seems to have stabilized its own market cap. Doesn't seem to be too inflationary. Yeah, we're good. And why are we up today? What does this one say? Look, I'll give you the comparison just to show you how you shouldn't use BingX AI. It's so bad. What do we got? Notable spike. Yeah, no kidding. Momentum when Quant jumped from $91 to $98. Is this real? Yeah, kind of. 99. You're just telling me technical outlooks. Okay, come on. Here's this. China's Qiantang District AI Initiative. Smart Manufacturing Hub is focused on AI-powered biomedical engineering, establishing an AI-empowered intelligent drug making innovation consortium. This news from November 28 from today coincides perfectly. Okay, that's good. I'm happy that they told us that. Supply squeeze versus technical versus RWA tokenization hype. I don't think this is telling me it. on CoinMarketCap. Impressive. Didn't realize that it would. How the tables have turned, huh? And BioD-Link CDMO breakthrough. Major presentation on Europe-China collaboration. Biologics, is that a real word? Highlighted that China contributed 54% of ADCs and 48% of bispecific antibodies in global trials. I have no idea what any of that means, but is it even related at all? Quant. Okay, what does this have to do with quant, though? Okay. AI, I'm assuming. Quant has to do with AI, right? It's got to. I don't really look too much into the project, but yeah. Goal of connecting blockchains and networks on a global scale without reducing the efficiency and interoperability of the network. So bridging the gap that exists between different blockchains. So kind of like Chainlink, kind of like Pyth. That's kind of the vibes I'm getting. And founder from working in the healthcare sector. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this has to do with AI, but yeah. RWA. No, it's not it. Never mind. Okay. Good. I like the rise today, though. That's decent. Let's go analyze this technically speaking. There is an uptrend, yep. Let me go back over here to a weekly chart. How much historical data do I have on this? A lot of lateralization. You've got your support, you've got your resistance. Middle point, you have this recent top that we hit on July 21st of this year when everything was all-time high. No, not everything. Everything was doing well, recovering. But Bitcoin's all-time high happened in October. October, this didn't rise too much. This was the October 10 crash from it. I'm looking at it from a weekly perspective. But the weekly chart is still toward the upside. Accumulation, I would be in favor of. Or maybe spot. And then if we're talking futures, yeah, you could do something with this uptrend. Make something happen. Obviously, because of this huge rise, be aware of like a potential pullback. Even if it does happen, it could drop you down to 77. You'd still be in an uptrend. And would possibly even be a great opportunity for entry. Even if we're accumulating on spot. Above like 77, 76. Could be great potential areas for accumulation. We were oversold right over here around 69, 70. That's where a support level is. So, another interesting area to pay attention to. Okay, I like what I'm seeing for quant. Good. I mean, now that we're on that subject, I might as well have a look at what else has been going crazy. I could check on RSIs in the 4-hour chart, see if I recognize any names. Pax, that's basically gold. Trador, BAT, I have no idea what these are. Anything oversold? Nothing important. Barachain, short Barachain to 0. And yeah, everything else is kind of in the middle. This means that gold is technically having a great day, or was having a great day today. Markets are closed. Let's go to gold. Yeah, we're on the rise. That's good. Not necessarily overbought in this 4-hour chart spot gold, but Pax Gold seems to be having a field day today. So there you go. Nice. Okay, good stuff. Let's go ahead and analyze, or just go over our news rather. Not analyzing much anything, but reading posts about stuff that's going on geopolitically. So here we go. Ukraine. Corruption. Let's go. Obviously, that was to be expected. Ukrainian President Zelensky's chief of staff has just resigned after anti-corruption units raided his house. His name is Andriy Yermak. He is out. Parts of Zelensky's team are corrupt to the core. Here's more information on it. Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, often called his right-hand man, has resigned after anti-corruption agencies raided his home and office amid a probe into an alleged $100 million kickback scheme. It's a huge blow to the president and his authority. This doesn't help when it comes to Ukrainian President Zelensky getting reelected. It's very likely that he is not. His approval numbers are way far below. The war is not helping him. The peace plan that's being proposed will not help him either. If that peace plan does go into effect, you know, with the 28 points, the original, the OG one, the correct one, in my opinion, if that goes into effect and he agrees to it, he has 100 days to call an election, and he's obviously going to get voted off. Somebody else is going to replace him. And I'm pretty sure that's got Zelensky in a panic mode. And a lot of people, of course, anybody associated with protecting Zelensky and his members of parliament, stuff like that, they're not looking too good either. And why does she keep coming up? Chrystia Freeland from Canada, our ex-deputy prime minister under Justin Trudeau, and then, you know, held the honorable title of Ministry of Transportation under Mark Carney, which thankfully she resigned from, and has since fled back to Europe, back to the UK. I don't know why, but there you go. She loves the UK. Chrystia Freeland was just filmed sitting beside the guy, Andriy Yermak, days before his home was raided in a corruption probe and he resigned. Coincidence? What is this woman doing with that man? That's okay, pause. You get the point, right? Maybe she is also corrupt. I don't know. And we did cover when she was, you know, she even had Kamala Harris over in Toronto before she left, and then announced her resignation from the Canadian Parliament and moved to the UK. Probably visit other places in Europe. You might as well. You're there. And I mean, there she is, along with Zelensky and Andriy, who has just resigned for corruption. Canada has sent more money to Ukraine than any country on earth. Is this real? That is not real. Okay. Which country sent the most money to Ukraine during the war? It's got to be United States. Yeah. Yeah, over I was going to say 200 billion, 144 billion. European countries have provided about $132 billion in total. That's all the European countries. How much did Canada contribute? Okay, come on. How much money did Canada send to Ukraine? Not 144. It's only 22 billion. Yeah, so what are you talking about? Fake news confirmed. Thankfully, I have a brain. Optics don't get much worse than this. Okay. But yeah, I was going to say, there's no way Canada sent more money than to Ukraine than any other country on earth. This is who our reconstruction envoy is meeting with? All right, pal. Not our deputy prime minister anymore, or whatever the heck she was. She's gone now. Forget her. Please, let's stop talking about her. In Germany, or German prosecutors rather, have arrested another Ukrainian important person. I don't know specifically what this guy does. His name is Serhiy Kuznetsov. I'll look him up. What did he do? He's a football player. That is not real. Is he actually a football player? Yeah, he's just a citizen. Okay. He was suspected of blowing up the Russian Nord Stream gas pipelines in 2022. Remember that whole issue? And the Ukrainians and the whole legacy media blamed the Russians. Looks like it's actually the Ukrainians who blew up that Nord Stream pipeline. German prosecutors, why is he in Germany? They have charged him with conspiracy to cause an explosion, unconstitutional sabotage, and the destruction of important facilities. Not looking good for Ukraine, man. Losing popularity as time goes on, and it gets worse. Unconfirmed rumors. Zelensky is probably preparing to flee Ukraine. Rumors are now exploding across Kyiv that Vladimir Zelensky may be preparing to flee the country as anti-corruption forces close in, after raids reportedly reached the offices of his closest allies. Nothing is confirmed, but the pattern is unmistakable. A massive NABU operation has already exposed a criminal network inside the energy sector, raids on senior officials, Zelensky's former business partner vanishing hours before arrest, growing questions about how far the corruption web reaches, and the investigation creeping closer to the presidential office itself. Now the whispers in Kiev are deafening. If the Dragnet tightens, where does Zelensky run? Poland, Israel, UK? Where does he go? I hope not Canada. Actually, yeah, we'll have him in Canada. Bring in the Ukrainians. We want him here. Maybe. I don't know. Do we really want Ukrainians here? Are they better than Indians? I'm not even going to get into the subject. You get the point, okay? This is not a racist show. I try not to be racist, or forget it. Somewhere farmer discreet, farmer protected. Darker question many are asking is, would he be allowed to leave alive? Okay, what? Knowing what he knows about Europe's power brokers, wartime money flows, and the deep corruption in Ukraine's Western-backed institutions. Okay, I see. They're talking about, don't be surprised if Zelensky commits suicide with 2 shots in the back of the head kind of deal, if you know what I'm saying. Hi, Cblo. No, I'm not racist. I promise. Okay. For years, Zelensky was untouchable, the globalists' golden asset. But assets are discarded the moment they become liabilities. Yeah, so that's what they're hinting at over here. If these rumors are true, the world may soon witness the most dramatic political escape of the decade. Okay, well, we'll see. This is all rumors, like I said, not confirmed, but don't be surprised. We love to speculate here. See below, buy Bitcoin right now, by the way. That's financial advice. Take it. President Trump just declared any document signed by Joe Biden's auto pen, which includes 92% of documents bearing Biden's signature, are hereby terminated. This whole issue with Joe Biden and the auto pen, the fact that Joe Biden was this zombie for 4 years and he was basically being forced to sign all this random legislation into law that ended up destroying the country, figuratively speaking. Trump is reversing all of those. I guess he has the power to do so, so hey, go for it. This includes executive orders, and it could also include commissions for DEI judges, among other things. He posted this on Truth Social, saying any document signed by Sleepy Joe Biden with the auto pen, which is approximately 92% of them, is hereby terminated, and of no further force or effect. The auto pen is not allowed to be used if approval is not specifically given by the President of the United States. Weird spacing, but you get it. The radical left lunatics circling Biden around the beautiful Resolute desk in the Oval Office took the presidency away from him. I'm hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden, because the people who operated the auto pen did so illegally. Joe Biden was not involved in the auto pen process, and if he says he was, he will be brought up on charges of perjury. Thank you for changing this matter. Okay, great. I don't know, great. Depends on what he signed. There was, I won't say that Joe Biden's entire presidency was terrible. It was pretty bad, I'm not going to lie, but there's like 1 or 2 good things that he did. Like pardoning the student debt, arguably, and I don't know. I guess that's it. Is that really it? What else did he do? He gave us some good memes. He gave us some good stutters and live mess ups and teleprompter fails. That was pretty funny. It's not a real country, by the way. Okay, another big thing that's happening. Explosive lockdown just dropped. Trump just slammed to the brakes on every single asylum claim nationwide after what happened the day before yesterday when the Afghan gunman went on a killing spree on the National Guardsmen. Went full jihad on a National Guardsman. Crazy. 0 decision, 0 movement, total freeze. USCIS says that until we vet these people, like our lives depend on it, because they do. Director Joe Edlow, dropping the hammer, drawers are slammed shut until we're 1,000% certain not one more wolf slips through in sheep's clothing. Am I sure you should buy Bitcoin right now? Yeah, do it, dude. You're 18 finally, right? Why did I say finally? Yeah, you're 18. Yeah, dude. And woman, yes. The National Guard's woman. She unfortunately passed away. Safety of the American people always comes first. Okay. If you want like actual, where can Bitcoin drop to? I estimate like 66,000, but like we're talking about many months, if this Bitcoin price action is just boring and choppy and terrible, you could expect a low of that area. I don't think it's going to drop specifically there, but if you start seeing Bitcoin price at like 70 something thousand, maybe that would be a good entry. But if you want to get started, like I said, if you're still working and everything, you got a stable source of income, drop like a small portion of your account in there. Not financial advice for YouTube's sake, but you get the point. If you want more, let me know. More tips. You're in my Discord. You're good. I think you are. I don't know. You deleted Discord, didn't you, brother? What are you doing? Or just, I don't know. Just DM me. You know where. Okay, we have a Thanksgiving message from Donald Trump, and he uses it to call Governor Tim Walz seriously retarded. Okay. Oh yeah, $20 a week. Hey, anything you can, dude. Anything. It will work. Why? Why Discord gay? Tell us. This is what Trump posted here, his Thanksgiving post. And yes, I'm going to read it all. Get ready. A very happy Thanksgiving salutation to all of our great American citizens and patriots who have been so nice in allowing our country to be divided, disrupted, carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other foolish countries throughout the world for being politically correct and just plain stupid when it comes to immigration. I think Trump is really mad, guys, by the way. All the stuff that he's been doing, and it's gonna get worse, by the way, the rest of the news that I have to cover, he's really cracking down for anti-immigration, and he's like, you know what, bomb these terrorists when it comes to the cartel members from Venezuela. We're seeing more footage of just boats getting blown up and Pete Hegseth being like, yes, we want more. So he's pretty pissed, I'm going to say. The official United States foreign population stands at 53 million people census, most of which are on welfare from failed nations or prisons, mental institutions, gangs, or drug cartels, and they and their children are supported through massive payments from patriotic American citizens who, because of their beautiful hearts, do not want to openly complain or cause trouble in any way, shape, or form. I can agree with that. They put up with what has happened to our country, but it's eating them alive to do so, which I also agree with. A migrant earning $30,000 with a green card will get roughly $50,000 in yearly benefits for their family. Why? How? The real migrant population is much higher. This refugee burden is the leading cause of social dysfunction in America, something that did not exist after World War II. Failed schools, high crime, urban decay, overcrowded hospitals, housing shortages, large deficits, etc. As an example of hundreds of thousands of refugees from Somalia are completely taking over the once great state of Minnesota. Minnesota, you know that. Somalian gangs are roving the streets looking for prey as our wonderful people stay locked in their apartments and houses, hoping against hope that they will be left alone. And here it comes. The seriously retarded governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing, either through fear, incompetence, or both, while the worst congressmen and women in our country, Ilhan Omar... Wait, why did he say that? Congressman/woman? Ilhan Omar, she's a woman, but... always wrapped in her swatting hijab. There we go. There's the racist Trump we know and love. And who probably came into the USA illegally, in that you are not allowed to marry your brother. That's on another thing that is just so crazy to think about, if that is even true. When her place of origin is a decadent, backward, and crime-ridden nation, which is essentially not even a country for lack of government, military, police, schools, etc. It's so hilarious, dude. Even as we have progressed technologically, immigration policy has eroded those gains and living conditions for many. Here's the big yellow text. I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the US system to fully recover, terminate all of the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe Biden's auto pen, and removing anyone who is not a net asset to the United States or is incapable of loving our country, and all federal benefits and subsidies to non-citizens of our country, denaturalize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility, and deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk, or non-compatible with Western civilization. Good. This is a recent, post from this morning. Finally. Finally. I like all this, by the way. Only reverse migration can fully cure this situation. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving to all, except to those that hate, steal, murder, and destroy everything that America stands for. You won't be here for long. Yeah, he's pissed, man. This is so funny. I love it. I love all of this. Every single sentence, every single word. Okay, no, maybe not every single word. He said some pretty nasty stuff, but there you go. Also, why doesn't Truth Social have a word limit? Yes, Truth Social Prime or whatever it is, Premium. I mean, he's the owner of the platform. He could literally do whatever he wants, but fair enough. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent doubled down on this, saying that at the president's direction, we are working to cut off federal benefit to illegal aliens and preserve them for the U.S. citizens, which is good. The U.S. Treasury announced that it will issue proposed regulations clarifying that the refunded portions of certain individual income tax benefits are no longer available to illegal and other non-qualified aliens, covering the Earned Income Tax Credit, the Additional Child Tax Credit, American Opportunity Tax Credit, and Savers Match Credit. Don't know what any of those are, but good. We're putting Americans first, is what it seems like finally. Is that sarcasm? I don't know, depending on what you were asking for. I'm sometimes sarcastic, sometimes I'm not. Yeah, you know what? For legal purposes, yes, I am sarcastic on whatever I said. But here we have other stuff. The United States is reevaluating all green cards from 19 countries of concern, those being Iran, Laos, Togo, Haiti, Cuba, Libya, Chad, Sudan, Eritrea. There's no way that's a real country. Burma, Yemen, Burundi, Somalia, Venezuela, Afghanistan, Sierra Leone, Turkmenistan, Equatorial Guinea, and Republic of the Congo. Problematic countries, countries of concern, countries where I assume it's in their interest to hate Americans. We're reevaluating the green cards for those countries. We'll see. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka should be added as well. I don't know about that. They're not too bad, but whatever. There you go. What else we got? We have Trump announcing a full and unconditional pardon for former Honduras President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was sentenced to 45 years in prison in 2024. Wow, so he's only served 1 year and he's already getting a pardon from Trump. Full pardon, according to many people that I greatly respect, treated very harshly and unfairly. This cannot be allowed to happen, especially now, after Tito Asfura wins the election. I have no idea about anything with Honduras politics, but why was this guy sentenced to prison for 45 years? I would like to know that. And he's endorsing Tito Asfura for president. Congratulations to Juan Orlando Hernandez on your pardon. What was man imprisoned for? What was blank imprisoned for? His trial began in February 2024 in New York City, where he is found guilty of drug trafficking. Why are we pardoning this man? One of his cellmates sharing the dormitory at the Brooklyn. He's cellmates with Sam Bankman-Fried. That means he was also cellmates with P. Diddy at some point. What? Is this real? It's AI. It must be real. I mean, it's AI telling me, okay, you know what? No, this is Wikipedia. Okay. All right, well, I guess it's real. He's getting a pardon. Why are we pardoning him? That's what I don't know. Trump is disgusting for that. He was like a traitor or something. I don't know. You could think whatever you want about Trump, but you can't deny he's freaking hilarious. Am I right? Another thing, he did the funny here as well. The Trump White House just launched a page exposing the fake news in incredible fashion. There's a leaderboard, a race to the bottom, and Washington Post is the worst by far. The offender, Hall of Shame, a record of the media's false and misleading stories flagged by the White House. Scroll for the truth. So he literally made a whole website exposing the fake news, totally not biased, called them all out. The lamestream media are the enemies of the people. And yeah, it is real. The official White House did indeed post it. I'm gonna go visit the page right now. Let's see. Misleading, biased, exposed. Hey, this is pretty good front-end web development. I will give them credit for that. I like that. Okay, I'm not clicking on that. What is this? The Boston Globe exposed. CBS exposed. The Independent exposed. Fake news. Oh, this is the video where it's like, oh, you have to refuse illegal orders. Don't listen to the commander-in-chief, and you must revolt against them. This was a message by Democrats to government officials, basically calling to revolt and for treason, right? And Trump may or may not have retweeted a Truth Social post in bad faith that said, we should hang them all like George Washington did. He retweeted that, and then the Democrats freaked out over that, like, oh my gosh, Trump is calling to kill the Democrats, you see? It's like, okay, I don't know. Who pointed the fingers first? Dude, it's all just drama. It's all just drama here. Yeah, it seems like a real thing. Oh, leaderboard. Okay, race to the bottom. Why is this in... Okay. Washington Post, the first place for fake news. Okay, great. Repeat offenders. 5 offenses. We're literally keeping track of everything. Okay, interesting. And this bubble chart will only get bigger. My email address? No thanks. Yeah. You already have that, government. Come on. You have my IP address, you have my email address, you have my wife's address. Another thing that happened today, we're going to go move on to financial markets. CME futures halted this morning. CME futures had an issue with trading. If you don't know, this is to trade indices. The futures markets, okay? It didn't work. Incredibly, just as silver and gold were about ready to launch, which, yeah, I already showed you gold chart today, having a great day, but the biggest one of them all is silver. Silver had a huge day today. This is an all-time high, $56.53 for silver. If you have anything silver, go sell it. Not financial advice. And I want to read this. Yeah, CME futures, it just had an issue. It's resolved, I think, by now, but yeah. What we're seeing in silver right now is truly historic. Now above the 1980 and 2011 highs, and above $55 an ounce for the first time in history. While everyone is fighting over the AI bubble, precious metals are casually crushing every other asset class. What does it mean? Gold and silver always know what's coming next first. Own assets or be left behind. You're making this your motto. Kobe, see you later. Yeah, last time gold was rising up this much, it seems like they kind of knew. What was it about? It was the government shutdown at that time, right? When we were hitting these highs, this was October 20, yeah. It was government shutdown peak. It was Bitcoin is crashing, gold is better than Bitcoin narrative. And I don't know, Peter Schiff was going crazy. He's like, guys, sell your Bitcoin now that it's... Oh no, he said something like, this is a great opportunity for Bitcoin. It is at 100,000. And you would expect him to be like, yeah, now's a great time to buy, right? He's like, now's a great time to sell before it drops below 100,000. And, well, broken clock is right twice a day. So, yeah, he got it. He asserted that one correctly. And Bitcoin has since never seen 100,000 ever again. Well, since then. I should zoom into the charts over here. Let me go to daily chart. I want to see these indicators in my way. I was expecting Bitcoin to hold above this line. It did not, and that is why I got heavily liquidated, but we did try to manage to stay above 100,000. This is where he's like, sell now, guys, and it did indeed drop. So we're on our way back up. We're trying to recover. It's going to take some time. Fundamentals are strong, but the weekly chart does not look good. Does not look in our favor. This could mean the end of the cycle. We could be entering a bear market, and that's going to last a very long time. But I don't think it will, honestly. There's plenty of reasons why I think Bitcoin should start going up soon, not tomorrow, okay? That's going to take some time, but it's going to happen. Coinbase Bitcoin Premium turns green, which means that big US institutions are starting to buy again. You see this little blip of green? I don't even know if you could see that. I'm going to print screen. Hold on. Give me this. Drag it here. Zoom in. You see this? Okay, come on. How do I scroll up? Okay. Nope. That little blip of green, it's starting. It's slowly happening. It's going to take some time. But institutions seems like they're finally flipping over from selling over into buying. We do now have Trump saying that he will keep stocks at record highs. He did say that. $600 billion a year in Magnificent 7 CapEx. Don't know what specifically the CapEx is referring to, or the 600 billion, but the Mag 7 we know about. The Fed is cutting interest rates to around 3% of inflation, into 3% plus inflation. What? Are we talking about the rates here? Flashbang warning. Let me have a look at this. Rate cut odds are still in our favor for December. 85% chance that we will have a rate cut. And that should drop us to 3.75 basis points. So yeah, I guess that's what we're talking about here. And the fact that we're expecting 3 more, I guess I could look at that now. For 2026. Yep, 3 more. So 1 in April, another in July, and another in December. That's 3 rate cuts for April. It should drop us to 3% of an interest rate. And we should stay that way all throughout 2027 until eventually inflation gets out of hand and we have to start hiking rates, which wouldn't be by October of 2027. So, yeah, we're still getting interest rate cuts, which would drop us to 3% in terms of our interest rate. Global AI infrastructure is spending $1 trillion a year. We're seeing that happening. Quantitative tightening ends in 2 days, confirmed. December 1st is when quantitative easing starts, obviously. The US deficit spending is at... Is that greater than? No, less than. US deficit spending is greater than 6% of the US GDP. Sure. Nvidia larger than all but 5 national stock markets. That is also true. $5 trillion. Come on. Record corporate buybacks of $1.2 trillion coming in 2026. Trump said he will completely cut income taxes. And Trump is also promising a $2,000 stimmy check for you guys in 2026. So make sure you vote. He's doing this so that you guys are like, hey, I'm giving you a $2,000 check. I have your vote for the midterms, right? You're going to vote Republican in your local states? But still, yeah, $2,000, and that's coming from tariff money. And the rest of that tariff money will go to pay off the national debt. Which you can also help pay off the national debt, by the way. You can use PayPal or Venmo. Whatever pathetic amount of money you have to pay off a $37 trillion debt. Yeah, good luck. We're probably going to spend it on hiring a black judge or something. Not to be racist. Again, I'm sorry. Forget it. DEI, that's what I'm talking about, okay? Doesn't have to be black. I'm sorry. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to move on. Let's see below. What if I don't have a PC and don't know how to access the stock market, Matt? Brother in Christ, you can do it from your phone. You're in the United States. Try using Robinhood. I heard it's all right. You can trade stocks and crypto on Robinhood. What? All right. Yeah, you can try that, or I mean, if you want to do leverage, which I would not recommend until you have enough experience to use leverage, but it can help you. It's a double-edged sword. Leverage will like multiply your gains. Yeah, Robinhood is the app. Robinhood. This one, 24/5 commission-free stock trading and investing. I think they do charge you whatever money in crypto. Yeah, you just got to be 18 plus. Submit your ID and you're good. We can't use it in Canada, but it's only in United States residents. But I like the equivalent of this in Canada is an app called Wealthsimple that I do use. I'm just giving out free advertising, by the way. These companies should be paying me to mention their names. You're welcome, Robinhood. I accept PayPal and US dollar as well. Thank you very much. My email is in my YouTube channel. So there's that, okay? UK government, they're also going to crack down on crypto tax avoidance in 2026. I also saw something else about the UK government for Canadians. If Canadian residents want to go visit the UK, you have to follow their digital ID laws, which is just cancer. I don't want to do that. You crazy? Digital ID? I'm fine with my physical ID. I don't even know. What do we think about digital IDs here? Is the government controlling us too much? Maybe that's what they want. Maybe we have no choice. Maybe it's the mark of the beast. Who knows? And also on the subject of tax avoidance, I'm not a legal advisor or anything, but by the end of this year, we could still see some sell-offs happening because of tax loss harvesting, where what people will do, especially since Bitcoin is down right now, or majority of crypto assets, if you aren't trading in there, you could just go ahead and sell at a loss, whatever positions you have. Like I said, this is not legal or financial advice, okay? I'm stupid. Don't trust what I'm saying. But this is what people do, and what I've heard, is they will sell at a loss. That way, when your annual report, you have to give it to your accountant, you'd be like, here's my crypto trading stuff. Yes, I spend every day looking at the stock market and crypto market for 5 hours a day, and I ended up losing X amount of dollars. You don't have to pay taxes on losses, right? Rather, you can use that to offset any other capital gains tax you've made in that year, from what I understand. And then you just rebuy after. Like you would sell right now to secure the loss, given your report. This is all happening by December, by the way, December, January. And then you rebuy, and it's basically as if nothing happened. If you still expect that prices are going to rise again, you would just rebuy that same amount that you sold, and it's as if nothing happened. You just confirmed that you lost money, and you don't have to pay taxes on that year. Which, for all intents and purposes, in my scenario, yeah, that is my case right now. I don't have to pay taxes this year because I'm overall at a loss. As crazy as it is. This freaking drop, man. 80,000? Come on, man. Who would have thought Bitcoin would have dropped there? But yeah, it is what it is. We're fine, though. We can recover. We know how to do it, and we will do it live for you guys. So do the subscribe button thing. Bitcoiners accuse JP Morgan of rigging the game against strategy and digital asset treasuries after filing with the SEC to launch leveraged Bitcoin-backed notes. I talked about this earlier this week, but I do want to go over it just very briefly. I don't even think I'm going to read all this, but if you care as to why Bitcoin crashed, pause the video and read all of this stuff. I'm just going to give context while I am going through it. MicroStrategy, biggest company that buys the most amount of Bitcoins. Just a company, right? We're not talking about ETFs or funds. This is a company with digital asset treasuries. JP Morgan, a bank who is initially anti-crypto, decides to attack them and get them delisted off of indices, saying that, hey, if you hold more than 50% of your company in a digital asset, you're just a fund. You're not a company, right? You basically are just BlackRock or Grayscale. And that caused the MSCI, the people who are in charge of the major stock indexes of the United States, to plan to delist MicroStrategy, the company, in January 15 next year. They're going to be gone, and that's going to cause an $11 billion loss in money, something like that, which is not good. MicroStrategy has also lost their charm because they had so much Bitcoin at the time, and their company was relatively new. They were starting back up, rising from the ashes, because let me show you the weekly chart for it. They were big back in 2000, the year 2000, okay? And they only started coming back recently because of their crypto buys. You'll notice that since 2021, that is when they adopted the crypto Bitcoin strategy. And you don't see Bitcoin move like this in the same span of time. MicroStrategy obviously moved a lot higher than that. And that is because MicroStrategy had this charm where it moved like 2 or 3 times more the volatility of Bitcoin. Because its market cap was low, it had the majority of its assets in Bitcoin. But now, since a lot of Wall Street has since FOMO'd and joined in, and the buys have not been that large either way, and Bitcoin's kind of already, we'll say that it's made its top, just for the sake of this argument. I don't think it has, but let's just say that it did. It started moving back to like one-to-one movements almost with Bitcoin. And at that point, it's like, okay, if this stock, which is now majority Bitcoin, is moving one-to-one with what Bitcoin is doing, why even hold this stock? Why even hold to this asset? The risk of this going bankrupt, there's a risk of this, getting delisted from exchanges and stuff like that. you might as well just hold the proper Bitcoin. Or if you do want to do it in a centralized way, let's just say, you know, paper Bitcoin, you just do an ETF, that's quite literally what everybody else is doing, right? And I didn't scroll far back enough, but yeah, year 2000, they were doing great as well over here. Look at that, boop. And then we rose much higher by adopting Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin didn't exist in the year 2000. Back then, there were softer companies, so they were actually doing good. Yeah, so... And now JP Morgan, the bank that was accusing this company of doing just that, has now partnered with BlackRock. So it seems like a coordinated attack over here. They spread all this FUD, bad news, scaring the markets, huge sell-offs. Even BlackRock themselves contributed to a majority of the sell-offs. Flashbang warning. A lot of sell-offs coming from BlackRock in the past couple days, right? More outflows than inflows just recently. And now they're starting to buy back again after the FUD has passed, after JP Morgan has now announced the banknotes that they plan on doing. It's basically this huge options strategy that they're planning with BlackRock, a contract that basically expires in, 3 years, 2028? So this is all really just planned, and they did this on purpose, manipulating markets, spreading bad news, eventually just buying cheaper and preparing their master plan. They know what to do. So, I mean, congrats if you got the money to move markets like that. Good. It is Black Friday. I could get premium for $1. $1 Canadian dollar, fellers, which is like 70 cents in American dollars. Should I do it? I kind of do want to, at least for the first time. First of all, I think I would get my handle changed on Twitter because I hate this. If I go to my profile, I do have to use my handle, and I have to include the X at the end because I don't know what else to include. What am I going to put? A 1, a 2, a 5? I'm not going to use numbers after this. My handle should just be Guillen MGN. That's it. I want that to be my handle. But that one is taken. And the account that took it does not even exist. If I go at Guillen MGN, that's just me. Okay. No. Can I just put the @ search for this specific account? Okay, it doesn't work. Can I please get Guillen MGN? Is my username doesn't even exist. He saw my post, I promise. Elon Musk saw my post. That tweet got deleted from my profile. I think he saw that and like muted me or blocked me or something. I don't know. But it doesn't appear on my profile anymore. That's strange that it appears after I looked it up like that. But you apparently need something from X Handles Marketplace. And you have to have, okay, you have to have Premium Plus. There's your answer. And Premium Business Full Access members. So you can request to change your @ handle if you have that. And I'm not paying $15 for a handle change, all right? So it's either I wait or, yeah, whatever. Haha, El Bozo, you bozo, C below. All right? So there you go. Thomas, what do I think of Bitcoin in the next 4 hours and 15 minutes? I'm conflicted with it. A couple of reasons why. We're entering low volatility weekend. So we shouldn't expect some crazy movements from Bitcoin for tomorrow, for Sunday. Monday, we could start seeing markets move again. Hold on, let me just check when we're getting PCE data. Get out of here. PCE, I think that's December 5 or something, right? Yeah, December 5. Oh, that's a Friday next week. Dude, we're fine. So things should continue as normal. Their normal trajectory. But what is the trajectory of Bitcoin right now? Short term, I feel like we can. Dude, it's so hard to determine. Because there's two things I'm looking at. This USDT chart tells me I should be looking at Bitcoin. You know, it topped over here and we're going lower. We're going to 87,000. You got to be prepared for both scenarios here because I can't give you a clear answer. If I'm going to USDC chart, let me just go to my favorites here. It's already saved. The USDC chart tells me that the trend has already flipped by like $1. Like it barely flipped over to the green from this candle over here. And it's telling me that Bitcoin should go higher, which should point to 95,000. So the two levels that you should be looking at right now, 88,000 we'll say, and 95,000 we'll say. We are technically in an upward channel, right? The drop should be slowed down a little bit. I would expect, you're also asking for a 15-minute chart, Bitcoin to be a little oversold as soon as we approach this level over here, which we're looking at the high 89,000, so 89,500 plus, let's just say, for a small bounce upward like this, should be oversold on the RSI from when we see that, because it's currently pretty low. It's at 482 right now on the 15-minute chart. So you could allow some, I don't know, some movement, some decay, but we're going to need some good volatility, and I just don't think we're going to get that in as we approach the weekend, right? And since we are in that channel, right, higher lows, higher highs over here, and I mean, at least on the USDC chart, it did confirm that, yeah, we're supposed to be in an uptrend indeed. We could follow this for the time being, but we could still maintain our upward structure, even if Bitcoin drops to 86,500, let's just say. It's a bit conflicting. I don't know, but I hope it makes some form of sense. 4% APY on cash. That basically means if you, it's like a savings account, right? Yeah, you're kind of getting scammed. 4%, you're not going to lose your money, but you're locking up your money in an account. It doesn't have to be locked up, but any money that you have in an account, Robinhood would pay you 4% of that money in a year. So let's say you got $1,000, right? In 1 year, Robinhood will give you $40, which means every month you're getting $3.33 for having $1,000 in that account doing nothing. That's basically what that means on your cash, right? If you have $1,000. It's basically what it means, which is not really that worth it. I mean, if we're talking millions, if you're a millionaire and you're doing that same thing, you get $40,000 a year, which is more than your salary that you earn right now, which means you're getting $3,333 a month. That's when it's kind of worth it. So it's more worth it for large net worth holders. If you have $1,000, dude, just go to the casino. You have a better chance of making more money there. No, don't actually do that, but you know, you got the point. Yeah, great. Makes a lot of sense. 100%. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, it's not just Robinhood that'll offer you to do that. I mean, they will offer you to do that. Your bank will also do that, but the banks are even worse, honestly. Banks will give you like a 1% or even less for your savings. So same deal. Like if you have $1,000, you get 1% annually. Divide that by 12, you're getting 80 cents every month. And I've experienced this myself personally. I'm like, this is stupid, dude. I'm just gonna put the $1,000 in Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin rises, I don't know, 4%, which can happen like literally in a week's time, you know, you've made in a couple of days what Robinhood is offering you in, what did I say? A year? Yeah. Yeah, literally, quite literally. And then what I'm doing here with this chart on my computer, right, with PC, with leverage on a different crypto exchange, that stuff, if you want to do, if you want to take this to the next level, get more advanced with it, learn technical analysis, understand how markets work, be glued to the news like I am, and politics. I just laugh at politics, but you get the point. Yeah. You hate it there, dude. I want to switch places with you. What do you mean? I want to be in the United States right now. I want to get, I was going to say I want to get shot. No, I don't want to get shot, okay? But, you know, hey, more crypto-friendly president. Dude, it's getting bad over here in Canada too. Unaffordable. But I don't know. I've been hearing that United States is also talking a lot about unaffordability. So what do we even do in this world? I just want to be a farmer and farm chickens, sell eggs, and have a lot of food. And a wife, a hot wife. That would be pretty cool too, don't you think? So yeah, that's what I think. Just micro adjusting this. How well can I make it? The upper channel should kind of point towards this direction if the USDC chart is correct. And I don't know. Some of the charts that we saw, the other altcoins, they have already flipped their trend into the green. We've seen it for Ethereum. We've seen it for Sui. Yeah. The rest of them have not quite done it just yet. So it's going to take some time. Should you invest in Nvidia or Amazon? Let's have a look. First of all, if you buy Nvidia right now, you're buying at an all-time high. Okay. Well, not necessarily. We've kind of come down a little bit. There's fears with an AI bubble. Oh no, the AI bubble is gonna pop. It's gonna burst. Dude, no. Nvidia will be fine. Nvidia, you got a lot of good stuff looking forward for it. We're not even selling our stuff to China yet. When the Chinese market opens and we're allowed to sell Nvidia chips to China, at least the older generations, the outdated versions, because we don't want them to have the most advanced AI, more advanced than ours in the United States, then yeah, of course, Nvidia sales will just keep outperforming everything as it has been, beating expectations miraculously against all odds every time, you know, Nvidia earnings were coming up. These are quarterly reports that just indicate how well the company has been doing in the past, oh, don't make me do math, 3 months? Yeah, 3 months. So yeah, we've been beating those estimations every time, which is why Nvidia has just managed to continue going higher every time. Our high was 212, we're at 177. You want like a technical entry? Yeah, the weekly chart trend is good as long as Nvidia is above 160. You're fine. If it starts dropping below, just like prepare to hold for a long time or just get out of there early if you can. I don't know. What do we got? 4-hour chart. Want to find like a good low, this low. You want to find like good support levels that you could potentially find a decent bounce in, because you're doing this on spot. You're not doing leverage. You're fine. You're at no risk. That level is looking at 164. If you could catch Nvidia at 164, decent entry of a potential bounce, right? We're not trading intraday, so you don't got to worry too much about the downtrend that it's currently at. That's just there because we've been so overbought. We hit a recent all-time high. When was this? October 28. So literally 1 month ago, we were at an all-time high with Nvidia. But, you know, decent drop, oversold at 164. Good entry. Brother, what do you mean you don't know what I mean? Okay. Nvidia, big top company, biggest company ever. Forget what I said about earnings, okay? Just know that they're doing good. And they've hit a $5 trillion market cap. It's possible. The money is there, okay? They're at 4.3 trillion. This is the total amount of money that's invested in the company. That's basically what it means. So, yeah, just look for a bounce. If you see number 164 on Nvidia, you could buy. Maybe, okay? And I'm not a financial advisor, so your own risk and my profit. Anything you gain will go to my bank account, you understand? Amazon, by the way, you can't buy right now because markets are closed. You have to wait until Monday at 9 a.m. Today markets closed early because of Black Friday. I forgot to mention this as well, beginning of the stream. They closed at 1 p.m. They usually close at 4. But yeah, because of Black Friday, they said, hey, it's time for you to buy a new freezer. So take the day off. Take half the day off. I don't know. I'm going to do the same thing with Amazon here. Currently, there's no good entry for it. You missed your entry at 216, 217 when it was oversold. What do you mean you don't see numbers? What are you talking about? Did you download like the scam bootleg version of Robinhood or what? What do we got here next? You could expect maybe 209, 210 for a good entry on Amazon. Oh, you wanted to buy Bitcoin. Does it show like open a crypto account there on Robinhood? I've never used it. It should show crypto, something crypto. It's not going to appear obviously on like a non-registered or a margin account or whatever, or a cash account, I think is what they call it. You have to open another account there. It says like crypto or something. And then you can buy Bitcoin. Oh, you wanted to buy in Bitcoin? What do you mean? Like you have Bitcoins already? I don't think you have Bitcoins already. I think you misspoke. And if we're talking Bitcoin, right now is not an entry. Overall, technically, in the technical analysis, yeah, things could continue lower. But I mean, if you just believe in Bitcoin fundamentals, which you should, you're never going to lose with Bitcoin on spot. It's going to take a while, but you're never going to lose at the end of the day. And that's why I just recommend, hey, if you don't really know what to do, just DCA. Okay, just buy a small amount, like right now. Not actually right now, but just saying, if you were to buy a small amount and Bitcoin's price keeps going lower, buy another small amount next week whenever you get your paycheck or whatever it is. And then, you check your phone once in a while. Oh, Bitcoin's still down. Just put another chunk of cash in there. Okay. Next week, same deal. If it keeps rising, then you're like, okay, now is maybe a time for me to determine when I want to take profit. If I see a decent profit, right? Because Bitcoin's not going to go down forever. Dude, you're safe. And I already gave my lowest predictions for it, 66,000. Don't think we're dropping below that. I've given my reasonings for it. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's just, I'm going to get into it right now. Oh, you bought Bitcoin. Congratulations. Congratulations. You're now a Bitcoiner. Like all of us are. I sold my Bitcoins at this recent high because I was expecting a slowdown from the price either way, which we kind of did get. And that's why I have this amount of USDT right now. But I'm going to plan to use that to... Dude, I don't know if I should even go back into futures with Bitcoin. I've been destroyed so hard. It was avoidable. But still, it's disappointing. It's whatever. Now I'm scared. I'm scared with leverage. I don't even know. Should I even do 2x leverage? I don't even think 2x leverage is safe anymore. Did you see what happened on October 10th? So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Okay, but yeah. I'm a bit over time with what I do with my stream. Dude, 10:37. That's crazy. Okay, well, congratulations. Hey, and if you have any other question, just go to my Discord or DM. No what? You gotta be more specific than just saying no. You don't see what's on my screen? For Bitcoin? Oh no, like I said, I sold it, but this, the 8,000s that I have in USDT. Do you know what USDT is? You probably don't. It's basically like saying US dollar, but it's tokenized. It's Tether US dollar, so this is a cryptocurrency that will always cost $1, $1 US. And we use it to trade, right? Because it's Bitcoin against the US dollar. If the US dollar gets stronger, Bitcoin will drop. You can't see that, idiot. No, I don't know why but okay. Yeah, I think it's time for you to go to sleep too. All right, so that being said, did you subscribe to my channel yet, brother? I'm like -2 subscribers away from... I'm 1 subscriber away from 500 right now. That is crazy. Check it out. Hey, what do you think? Somebody hit that subscribe button, please. Give me to 500. And then I'll stop begging, like I said. I promise I will stop begging. Yeah. Or, like I said, I stream every night, same time. I try to stream at 9 p.m. I know I started a bit late tonight, but it is what it is. Cope, Seeth, and Mauled. Yeah. You can just come on by on any other stream, and this is good. This is good. I like when you ask questions like this, because it reinforces what I teach. You're blocking me? Okay. I'm going to block you first before you block me. How about that? Matter of fact, I'm doing it right now. Okay. Great. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, do the good old things with the... Yeah, and check out the links in the description. Okay. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.